Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make my Valentine's love note embroidery hoop. It makes a fun gift for Valentine's Day. I'll pop a list of everything you need over in the description. Let's get stitching. So I'm going to start by preparing my embroidery hoop. This is a 6-inch hoop and I'm using some lilac felt as the main fabric. So the key here is to make sure your fabric is nice and tight in the hoop, and this will give us a good sturdy base for our envelope. There we go, that's looking nice and secure, and you can see the fabric is as tight as a drum. The next thing we're going to do is make the envelope. I'm using white felt and I'm just marking up the size so I can cut it out nice and evenly. So my envelope is going to be 9.5 centimetres by 6.5 centimetres. So I'm marking up this piece of felt which is going to form the back, the front and also the little flap of the envelope. So now I'm just going to cut this out. Felt is a fantastic fabric to use for this because it doesn't fray around the edges, so it's one of my favourites to use. And I'm just going to cut along the top piece as well. Now, because the envelope is 3D and attached to the fabric, we're going to create some folds in a moment. So I'm just marking up the sizes again on the fabric just so I know where to fold them. And then I'm just going to draw the lines just to make sure I've got the 3 sections nice and even. Here we go. So now I've got my 3 sections. I'm going to fold it. That's the first section. So this is forming the front and the back of the envelope. So you're just giving it a nice sharp crease. And now I'm going to fold over the front bit here, which is going to form the flap of the envelope. I find the felt that I'm using for this folds quite easily, but if you want to create a sharper crease, you can use these little fabric binder clips and then leave the envelope for a little while, and this will help keep the creases in place. So the next step is to cut the envelope flap. So I've marked this up on the 3rd section of the fabric and I'm just cutting it with my scissors, just making sure I've got some nice sharp edges on there. There we go. And now I'm just going to fold this over and we have got the front flap of the envelope. As before, I've popped a fabric binder clip on each corner to help me create some nice sharp folds. Now the next step is to cut out the heart for the front of the envelope, as this is a Valentine's Day love note, so we've got to include a little heart. So I always find it helpful to draw a heart out first and then to cut it out, as they can sometimes be a little bit difficult to get even. And here's our little heart. So now it's time to attach the envelope to the hoop. So I'm just removing the little fabric binder clips and I'm placing it here in the centre. And to attach it, I'm going to be using 2 strands of white embroidery thread. The stitch I'm using to attach the envelope is running stitch. So I'm going to work a line of this along each edge, just ignoring the top edge because we want to keep the envelope open at the top. This will hold our envelope on there nice and securely. Just make sure to keep your running stitches nice and even in size for a tidy finish. So now we've secured the envelope, it's time to add on our little heart. Now I'm going to do this using a little dab of PVA glue. This is going to hold it on there securely. Alternatively, you could pop a couple of stitches on there to keep it in place. So I'm just going to pop the heart just here, just give it a little pinch. And I'm grabbing my trusty binder clips again, they're getting a lot of use today. And I'm just going to pop them on the edge while the glue dries, and that'll just make sure our heart stays nice and securely in place. There we go, so we're nearly finished. It is time to add a little bit of embroidery. So using 12 strands of this lovely pink thread, I'm going to add on these little hearts. Now these are just formed by stitching 2 back stitches in the shape of a V, and I'm using 12 strands of thread this time just to give them a little bit of extra thickness. So now it's time to back our hoop. So here I'm using my favourite method, which is to trim the fabric so it's slightly bigger than the hoop. Then I'm going to work running stitch around the edge of the fabric. Then once I've stitched all the way around, we simply just give it a pull and it creates a bit of a drawstring effect, so it gathers the fabric at the back of the hoop. I've got a video over on my channel showing you this method in more detail, so make sure you check it out. this is what it looks like once the fabric has been gathered. So the very last part is to add in your little love note, and your embroidery hoop is ready to be gifted. Will you be giving this one a go? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching.